Right, hello again. We've got Harry Skelton joining us again today. We're going to talk a little bit about his rides and a few of his horses for Aintree. But a quick one first, Harry. How are you feeling off the back of Cheltenham?
Yeah, good guys. Thanks for having me on again. Yeah, no, obviously to come out of Cheltenham, with one winner. I think any jocker trainer and owner, will take that. The new Lion was brilliant and delivered exactly what we thought he might. And okay, we didn't have four winners like we did last year, but that was that was something else. And
Mm.
it's so difficult there, the competition, but look, we're happy we've had a winner at the festival again. And yeah, the new Lion's really exciting, and a lot of the other horses ran well as well, so
Mm.
it was a good festival.
No, that's good. A quick one on the new Lion. Then obviously, I mean, they were brilliant. The cello curse and all that was broken. They were fantastic. Is he sort of been put away for next season now? Is he something you might think for a champion hurdle?
Yeah, look, we hopefully, dreaming of a champion hurdle over the summer there, and we'll probably most likely campaign him for, map out his campaign for that. Really,
Mm.
he's gone back now to Martinstown to JP's, and he'll have a nice summer holiday. And he's done more than enough for us this year, and he's delivered on the big stage when we really needed him, and yeah. Overcome the Challow curse and all of that, but
Mm.
those statistics are there to be broken.
Yeah.
Well, he was my only anti-post winner, I think, from the team that we.
Oh yeah, you had the new Lion, didn't you? I forgot about that. Yeah. No, it
Right.
was brilliant. It was a fantastic race. The main players come to the front, and I mean that jump at the last was exceptional. I mean, I bet you
Yeah.
had a bit of a heart in the mouth moment.
Yeah, do you know what though? He never felt like falling. Just
Mm.
never. It just never felt like falling. I mean, when I actually watch it back, it was. I mean, that's how close you are. Sometimes literally millimeters away. And we
Yeah,
saw the day before with State Man.
yeah,
He came down, but um, I think the difference perhaps between the two is that when State Man took off and he winged it. He was on a good stride, and but
mm,
he kept his legs and his front feet, his hooves were bent
mm,
underneath him, and he didn't put them out in front of him, whereas the new Lion sort of put his hooves up and out, and thankfully we got over by the skin of our teeth, but landed running and battled on really well up the hill.
yeah. It was fantastic, honestly, and we'll be very much looking forward to following him all next season and hopefully to a champion hurdle. No, brilliant. So what we're going to do now then is we'll just, like I say, run through your entry horses and just sort of get your words on them. We'll start tomorrow. In the manifesto, you've got Boomborn. What are your thoughts on him going up against, the likes of Imperial Pass and horses like that?
Yeah, look, lads, we've got to improve upon what we've shown. We've obviously got a fair few figures to find, on ratings. We've got a few numbers to find. So it's turned out into a real competitive race with plenty of runners, a lot more runners than I thought maybe that might be in this race. But Boomborn, he is an improved horse since going chasing. Was a hell of a good run the last day at Kempton when given £5 to Ribode and
Mhm.
just going down a head or a neck or whatever it was. But yeah, we need to step up again on that to figure here. If we could finish in the four, I think it'd be fair to say that we'll all be delighted, really.
Fantastic. Well, fingers crossed. The next one then is a very exciting horse, one that we're very excited about. Live Conte or Live Conte, which one pronounces right, going for the juvenile hurdle. Obviously, you've got some horses like Alhambra and stuff not running anymore. Looked impressive at Weatherby. What are your thoughts on him going into this race then?
Yeah, we're very happy with him. He's a horse that we really like since we inherited him from France. His
Mhm.
form of his running Auteuil is very very good, and the form's backed up really well. Um, Obviously, he came over to England and won as he liked at Wetherby.
Yeah.
All in all, it wasn't a deep race, and there wasn't a lot of form coming into that race. But all he could do was win as he did, and we were just looking for the right race on the right track to give him a good experience, and that's exactly what he got off the back of Wetherby. So he's coming into this race now. He's trained really well. Um, it's a big step up, obviously, and it's a big question to ask. But we feel that this horse is, a proper horse, and hopefully one in the making of hopefully a
Mm.
good chaser further down the line. Um, look, if you could run with promise and again finishing the four, we'd be happy. We'd be happy. But yeah, I think he's a good horse. And obviously, um, you can't really look at the race at Weatherby too much,
Yeah.
but all you can do is look as you've seen it, rather than looking into the form of it. So he did that well, and we're ready to go.
Do you think he'll handle the ground? Would have been a bit quicker than probably what he's used to.
Yeah, look, I honestly think like you come to Aintree, it's the perfect ground. That ground will be like an absolute carpet. It'll be sort of good to soft. There we haven't raced on this since December. Um, when you get up there tomorrow, it'll be, it'll be. I'd say there won't be many excuses for many now. And if someone's coming in saying the ground got them beat, it'll be a bad excuse.
Love that.
Good stuff.
Well, moving on to and also he's really good. Grey Dawn, obviously in the ball. You've got Spillance Tower in here, hoisting your. What are your thoughts on him? You kicked our beloved Irocco out of the way last time, and now you kept him fresh for this. Are you fancying him?
Yeah, we are. He's trained really well, and obviously after Kempton, the King George, things didn't go quite to plan. We had to change tack a little bit and decided that we'd missed the Gold Cup this year, and map it out to come here fresh. Got the job done nicely up at Kelso on a track that was sharp enough for him. Jumped and travelled well out in front, and I think it's fair to say put a good horse to bed. Pretty nicely in Iroko. But yeah, real good grade one. I think I think it's hard to pinpoint one, isn't it? But I think it's an open race, and I think you can make a case for quite a few of these in this race. But he's definitely one I wouldn't be swapping. And obviously last year he ran well at the meeting, but I think he'd given his all at Cheltenham, and came here off the back of sort of emptying the barrels out at Cheltenham. And that's hard to do then, is come to Aintree and back it up after giving a performance like he did at Cheltenham. So coming into the race fresh ticks a lot of boxes.
Yeah, I suppose. Do you think maybe next? You think if let's say he wins this race, do you think that's something he'd maybe do again next year, or would it maybe aimed at a Gold Cup next time? What do you think?
Yeah, look, we are hoping that one day we can run this horse in a Gold Cup. But the time you've got to make the right decisions at the right time, and deal with what your horse is showing you. And this time this year, off the back of sort of Haydock and Kempton, we had to sort of make different plans for him that was hopefully that would pay dividends. And so far at Kelso it was, but we'll see tomorrow. But I'm sure he'll run very well. He's in good form, and hopefully next year, we can go to a Gold Cup.
Fantastic. Moving on to the Aintree hurdle, then you've obviously got Constitution Hill off the back of a fall. Lossomouth in here. This is the big clash everyone's been talking about. Then you've got Take No Chances in here. Do you think she can put it up to the top two?
Look, she's got a long way to go to probably be putting it up to them. But one thing she's done this year is improve enormously. I got a beat last year around Cartmel in a 3 mile handicap. I went via Cartmel Village and picked up Sticky Toffee Pudding on the way around. I was that wide. It was an awful ride. And all she's done since then is improve. So she's absolutely thriving. If we could finish in the four and pick up some good prize money, we'd be happy, But Constitution Hill, Lossymouth take each other on, and over 2.5 miles, different conditions than it was at Kempton. So be an interesting race.
If you had to pick one between those two, where would you be on?
Lossymouth.
Oh, Rich, I love that. Love that. Well, it's let's sort of both get round, and it's a good, obviously it'll be a good race. Fantastic. The Fox Hunters, then, obviously you've got a few in here. Just sort of get your word on those. You've got Freer Dams, Jet Plane, and Benny's King. Do you think any of those three are going to go close to? Will it go ahead of the favourite at the moment?
Yeah, look, it's 30 runners. It's the chance for the amateurs to have their spin around in the Grand National fences, which is a great thrill. We've got 3 runners. Benny's King's been placed in the race twice. Second in this race last year under Sean O'Connor, who rides him again. Really happy for Sean actually to get back. He had a nasty injury and been out pretty much all of the winter season. He broke his pelvis with a nasty fall. So it's great to see him back. He had a winner at the weekend at one of the local point to points, and he's back on board. Benny's king. So they'll be hoping they can go one better. I think the ground will be sort of good to soft, which look, they've been watering and it should suit any horse, but arguably Benny's king is better on a bit softer ground. So if it was on the slower side of that that would play to his strengths
Yeah.
for sure. He's a veteran and he's been around the fences before, so he's not showing any signs of slowing up in his old age. Put it that way. Been running really well. Jet plane. Brother-in-law actually rides his horse, Jack Andrews. He's that tall he can see over the beaches brook and the chair. If
Wow.
he stood up next to it, and he came and sat on jet plane in the week, scored him over some national types of fences, and took to him well, and Jack got on well with him, and he's been running at a fairly decent level as a handicapper, and now he's gone hunter chasing. He seems to be enjoying it. If he gets if he gets out into a good rhythm, he could run well as well. And I'd make a case again for Fred Heidi, our amateur, like Sean, it works in our stable, and this is a massive day for these guys who put an awful lot of work in to get the opportunity to ride around Aintree and have a chance. If I was them tonight, I wouldn't be sleeping a wink. I'd be absolutely buzzing. I'm sure they are. So Heidi's
Yeah.
never been round Aintree before, but she's absolutely fearless, to be honest. Fred should give her a great spin. Look, he should have won the last day at Ludlow, but I think we all just got the tactics a little bit wrong over the trip and on the ground, and we sort of missed two out, and the winner got away, and we finished off the race quite well. But again, it wasn't long ago that he was very competitive in big handicaps, so got a bit of class about him. If anyone had a tenner on any of them three, I couldn't put you off. They've definitely got chances.
Brilliant. The red rum then. I mean, we kind of had Eto'o earmarked for this. Is he missing the whole festival? Is it?
Yeah, he won't be going to Aintree. Just not been that happy with him. To be honest. Do you know that horse? Just while you're on about him, like we just haven't been happy with him all year. He hasn't had things
Yeah.
go right for him. It's been a bit of a disaster, to be honest. But look, hopefully we can get him back for next season. And yeah, he's absolutely fine and he's
Yeah.
sound and everything, but he's not showing the right signs at home. And you know, welfare is absolutely paramount to any of these horses. And whenever we, it just shows that we could run him, but we know deep down that he's just not showing the signs that we want him to show, and he's there for another day. So we're running Calico. He's
Yeah.
coming back to a bit of form. Ran quite well the last day. I think Dan's just had in mind all winter that we could improve a bit into the spring after winning at Cheltenham at the start of the year. He's in good form, ultra competitive race. Has he got a stone in hand? No, he hasn't, but he can be very competitive off his mark, I'm sure.
He'll like the decent ground.
Yeah, he'll enjoy the ground. He'll ping off that. So I think they'll go fast as well. There's a lot of pace on in the race, and look, I've made plenty of use of him before in smaller fields, but I think maybe we might just change tack a little bit tomorrow. If they're going real hard up front, we might just let it all unfold in front of us and see if we can pick the pieces up.
Well, we're going to finish the first day tomorrow on the Mayor's Bumper. I mean, Rich is quite sweet on the Blue Bet. We had Keelan Woods on who spoke highly of her. You guys have got to get a whiskey in here. What do you think of her chances?
She's a nice filly. These bumpers, they're an unknown, really. You never know what you're taking on, but she's been placed in a listed bumper at Market Raise. And one thing I would say, I think Aintree will suit her a bit more than Market Raise and did, because I think it'll be a bit more of a stamina test. So that should play to her strengths more. The one thing I would say is it's a long season for these bumper horses. She won back in the autumn at Carlisle. She's been in training a long, long time, and it can be hard to keep a horse, at the top of their game and in peak condition all the way through the season. Now she had a bit of a break after she ran at Market Raisin. We just backed off her, and hopefully, she's still got it in her that. She's just not gone over the edge almost. Do you know what I mean? And looking for a holiday, but we see no signs of that at home. She's in good form, and I think she can run well. I don't know. Can she win it? We'll see. But yeah.
Love it. Well, moving on to the Saturday then, we've got the Premier Handicap, the William Hill Handicap Hurdle. We've got Be Aware in here. We all backed him for the Coral. What are your thoughts on the Coral race after that, and what do you think this week? You just didn't stay that trip?
That's Friday, yeah.
Friday, yeah.
Yeah, sorry, Friday. What did I say? Saturday? Friday, sorry, day 2.
Yeah. Yeah, he runs in 2.5 mile handicap. I don't know. I don't know why he didn't win at Cheltenham. To be honest, I was coming down to 2 out and I was absolutely cantering. I thought, it was a matter of letting him go. Langadan moment here all over again,
We were counting
But
the money. We were counting it.
once I sort of let him down, he just sort of flattened out and kept galloping rather than really picking up when he hit that rising ground. So maybe it was that he maybe just didn't quite see it out as strongly as we'd have thought. But look, he's in good form. Yeah, he hadn't ran for a long while leading up to Cheltenham. We'd kept him really fresh, obviously, and just tried to just look after his mark after a good run at Ascot over Christmas. So maybe that run might have just done him the world of good, and you never know. Might have just been what he needed, but I don't think it was anything to do with fitness wise because he'd been,
Yeah.
he'd done a lot of work and had been training well. But again, he's in good form, should have a chance. We also run Listen to Your Heart. She's a good mare now. She's had the spring in mind since she won at Newbury back in the autumn. We've left her off really all winter. Had a little run there up at Kelso to sharpen her up, and she ran very well. She'd have come on a bit for that. A very easy mare to train at home. You wouldn't need to do an awful lot of work with her, but I think that run at Kelso just blow the cobwebs away. She comes in here. Harry Atkins, one of our conditionals, taking £7 off. She ain't without a chance.
Fantastic. The top novices hurdle, then you're throwing in Royal Infantry in here at a decent price. Romeo Coolio, Triple Flyer, Salvatore Mundi, Diva Luna, these sort of horses in here. What do you think of Royal Infantry? Do you think he can bounce back?
Yeah, he's had a wind up since he last ran. And I probably didn't make enough use of him up at Haydock. We'll go back to the tactics that probably, we've seen him in a good light of there before. Thing is, why I didn't make the running up at Haydock was because there was another one in there that really wanted to go hard and make a strong pace. And he's not a horse that has to make the running. He's just a horse that wants a good gallop. So, we'll let him get on with it. And if one or two are going quicker than us, then fine. But he'll stay the trip well. He'll enjoy the ground, and he's fresh coming into the race. So he's got an each way chance. He's got to improve on what he's shown. But it was quite a good run at Haydock when he won.
Yeah, well, it definitely was. So fingers crossed. I mean, a big price. He could run well. The Melling, then you've got Protectorat. We've got John Bon off the back of sort of bombing out. El Fabiolo, who's got a bit iffy jumping. Matata, who was a bit of a rogue off the front. You must be fancy if the Windsor run by Protectorat was electric, I thought, and obviously ran okay at Cheltenham. What do you think for the Melling?
Yeah, small but select field, and obviously 4 very good, decent horses. Like you say, John Bon just didn't really get things as he liked at Cheltenham, and but he did stay on real strongly, didn't he, to finish where he did. I think it was his second in the end.
Second in the end, yeah.
It was a hell of a performance, really. But look, if he comes back to form, he's the one we've got to beat, and he beat us there last year. But Protectorat ran well at Cheltenham. Probably could have done with a bit more rain. He's probably best on soft ground over, or proper good to soft ground at the 2.5 mile trip. And look, he always runs his race. He's a tough horse. He can on his A game. He everything goes right. He can beat them. But that said, massive respect. If John Bon's on form, he's going to take a bit of beating. But we're happy with Protectorat, and look, he's run well at this meeting last year, and hopefully there's no reason to say why he wouldn't again.
Love it. Well, I've got a few more. Obviously, we've not got declarations and stuff, so I kind of just go through, and you can, maybe know if you're going or not. No, Susan in the handicap hurdle, is she going?
She's a possibility to run on Saturday. Ran well at Cheltenham. She just blew up and needed the race. She's been off the track a long time, and we were just running out of time really to get her really ready for Cheltenham. But she was fit enough and to do herself justice exactly like she did, and she's a good mare on a day. So yes, she might run. Mr. Hope Street also is a possibility to get in if he gets in the race. I think 3 miles he's fairly unexposed at that trip. He'd definitely be with a chance.
Yep.
Yeah, so there's 2 for that race, and we've got any others? I think we've got
You've got
another one.
Is Catching Derry maybe going there?
Hatcham Derry, yeah, ran really well in the Pertemps, finished third. He's a real hold-up horse, but ran an absolute blinder at Cheltenham to pick up third, and the handicap has had his say on him as well. So we'll see where he sits in the handicaps now, but all 3 of them would have a chance if they run.
Lovely. I've got a couple in the handicap chase, and I've got the Thorns, Mighty, and Snipe. Are they both going to turn up? Do you think, or will you ride them?
No, I wouldn't have said they will run. Is it possible here that Milos runs?
Yeah, Milos. Yeah.
He's been a great old servant. Obviously, winner of a Ladbroke Trophy a couple of seasons back, and it was great to get his head back in front when he won at Warwick. Shows all the enthusiasm at home. Just a joy to have about. To be honest, listen, he's handicapped right up to it, isn't he nowadays? But he normally runs a very promising race, and there's no reason to think that he couldn't run well again. There just might be 1 or 2 others that are just sort of a bit more unexposed and a bit more progressive than him.
Sweet. What about Leah Desud then? Were you happy with the Arco run going into this mag hole?
Yeah, I thought he ran well. I was left in front a little bit sooner than I wanted to be honest, after Majborough made that mistake 2 out, and he's a horse that doesn't do a lot then once he's hit the front, and I just felt him sort of once he hit the front, he was sort of waiting then for the others. I think you'll see a pair of cheap pieces on him on Saturday, and
Right.
we'll play our cards later, and look, if he runs like he in any of those races, if he runs to any of that form, you'd like to say he'll be the one to beat, wouldn't you?
Yeah, for sure. Like I say, if you can manage to hold on to him a little bit longer, then it's definitely got a big chance. I've got Gwynny May Boy in the Liverpool Hurdle. Then is he going to go to that?
Yeah, he's going to run. Been very progressive. Won at this meeting last year in the handicap. Unfortunately, I wasn't on his back, but I will be this year. Won the Rendlesham well. And yeah, it's just really improved.
I quite fancy him for the Pertemps. I think you won. You won a qualifier on him. Yeah, remember. Got about £10. I think it was. Was that the right one?
No, I didn't. No, I didn't win on him. I rode him down at Windsor. It was a bit sharp for him around there, but look, he's been going the right way, hasn't he? Improving horse. Obviously, very tough. Stays well. Strong leader. The winner of the race last year is coming back into the race. He enjoys this flat track, and whether TOP runs or not, I'm sure it'll be, as you would expect, very competitive Grade 1. But yeah, this horse could just surprise a few now. He's going the right way, and he's a good, consistent horse.
Yeah, it was Charlie Todd rode him in the Pertemps qualifier at Aydock. I says to Rich, says, just watch Gwynny May Boy in this way. Anyway, he went and won at a decent price. I was like, back in, but that was it was still good to see him win anyway. A couple for the bumper then, nearly finished now. You got Covista and Realco both going for the bumper.
Covista, yeah.
Have I got that right?
Yeah, two nice horses. Covista won quite nicely at Huntingdon. The form's been boosted pretty well since by Wandering Ego, winning up at Wetherby last week. A horse that it's been always showed us plenty at home, and a horse that we really like. And Realco also done nothing wrong. Won under a penalty at Exeter. Then was placed in a listed bumper at Newbury. So two types of different horses. I'd say like Realco would be more of a stronger stayer as it stands at the minute. He'd be more of a staying type of horse, and Quavis would have probably a little bit more pace. So we'll be trying to play him a bit later on. But two real nice horses going forward. And like I say, in these bumpers, you just never know. They're an unknown, aren't they? But anyone who's listening in and watching this, they're two horses you can put in your notebook for next year going novice hurdling. I think they're smart.
Fantastic. Well, the last one then I'm going to speak about. You've obviously got a ride in the Grand National. You're on 300 through 5. Are you looking forward to that?
yeah, really looking forward to riding 300 through 5 for Paul Nichols. Great to get offered the ride. You know, for any jockey around this time of year, you're just hoping that you might pick up a ride in the National. So it's great to be part of it again. I had to sit on 300 through 5 last week. Feels in good form. He's ran pretty consistently well at quite a high
Yeah.
level, really, in the 150s. You know, pretty much. Um, you know, mid 150s, and that's a high level to be running at. So he's a
Mhm.
classy horse on his day. Doesn't mind, you know, sort of good to soft ground. Um, he was placed in the Scottish National. He comes into this race pretty fresh off the back of his run at Ascot, which was quite a while ago now. But you know, Paul's been very happy with him and thinks he has a chance. So um, look, the complexion of the race has changed a little bit more now. You
Yeah.
get a lot more sort of classier horses into the Grand National nowadays. So, but you know, look, he's I think 33 to 1, and you'd like to say he'd have a little squeak at that price, wouldn't you?
Oh yeah, I'll be having at least be having a pound. I'll be sending my grandma down to the shop to put a pound on. That's what she normally does. So I'll tell her to put some on that.
Good, good.
She'll love that. Last one then. Well, I've got two more. Obviously, well, Country Mile is not going to go now, Michelle. We were talking about him when you come on last time. Is he okay? Is he going to be
Yeah,
seen
no,
again this season?
he's fine. Look, to be honest, we probably went back to the well too soon after he
Mm,
bolted up at Cheltenham. We went to Aintree for the Tolworth, or
yeah,
the Formby now, what it's called, I think,
yeah,
on very testing ground. And look, we had to take our medicine, and you know, we probably wish we had never gone there. And you know, just sort of you could tell that race had taken plenty out of him. So
yeah.
he's been put away for the season. He'll go novice chasing next year.
Fantastic. Well, I'm going to finish on one. Obviously, he's now been retired. Langadan. How is he? Is he enjoying retirement?
Yeah, guys, look, it's really, you know, quite a
End
shock
of
to
an
us
era.
all about.
End
Pardon?
of an era, yeah.
End of an era.
Yeah, end of an era. Exactly that. It's been quite a shock, to be honest.
Yeah.
With Langadan, he sort of, you know, the week 10 days leading up to Cheltenham just had a bit of a snotty nose and just a
Mhm.
bit under the weather, and we knew something wasn't quite right with him anyway. Unfortunately, he's been retired. He was retired straight away, and because he's found to have a heart condition, that unfortunately, yeah, stopped him racing. So, what a fantastic horse he's been.
Yeah.
You know, for his owner, Colin Donlan, who owned this horse. You know, from a very early age. I think he bought him when he was possibly a yearling or 2-year-old. So he's, you know, part of the furniture here, really. Winning twice at Cheltenham Festival, 2 Coral Cups. He won an Imperial Cup. He won at Aintree, and improved to go on and be placed in Grade Ones and to a rating of in the 160s. So,
Yeah.
from a riding point of view, he was a thrill to ride. He was a real character. He was, you know, he was like a little motorbike. Honestly, you could put him anywhere in a race, as long as he was in the middle somewhere and he had horses bouncing off
Mm,
him from either side. That's what he really thrived off and really enjoyed. And I promise you, he's only about 15.3. He's not even nearly 16 hands.
yeah.
He's a small horse, but a very, you know, he's very brave, and he loved being in the hustle and bustle of a race. And from a trainer, there's been, you know, a lot's been said about it, but Langadan did what Langadan wanted to do, and he was exactly like that at home. You know, some days you needn't bother getting him out of bed because you might as well just put him straight back in the stable. Because if he decided he wasn't playing, he wasn't playing. Um, and yeah, it's sad, really. His, you know, going to be very hard to replace him.
Yeah, but like I say, you know, he's given us some amazing memories at the course. You know, we've had amazing days watching him, and like I say, you've had fantastic days riding him. And it's just good to know that he's going to be nice and safe and sound, and he'll enjoy his retirement, I'm sure.
Yeah, he will. And Amber, who's our head girl, one of the head girls here, one of the yards looks after him, and Steve, who looked after him, and Amber, who rode him. They'll Amber's looking after him now. She got a place just a mile down the road, so he's very local to the yard, and he's enjoying his retirement. But it's got to be a steady one in his retirement. So he's got to take it easy, and hopefully he can enjoy it.
It's a shame because the form behind Bo Ollinger, he must have had a decent enough chance in the Stayers if he was right.
He'd have won the Stayers.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, well, do you know what though? Like I just going over it all again, but I was surprised that he didn't run better than he did at Windsor. Quite frankly, he ran awful. And I don't think he ran again since Windsor, did he? He ran at Cheltenham, ran pretty poorly. I mean, this was a horse we were trying to get ready for Stayers Hurdle that wants to be performing at a good, and he wants to be performing. He should have been performing at a good level there, but he wasn't. He was running awful.
Yeah.
But look, that's all history now. Let's remember him for what he did. 2 Coral Cups, and the second one, I'd say, lads, it was an absolute certainty.
100%.
It certainly was.
Just quickly, another horse at Cheltenham. Just moving on from Langadan. Balgrand. How did he come out of the county hurdle?
Fine. He's going to go up to the Scottish National meeting, so he'll run the Scottish Champion Hurdle. Never really happy the whole way around. I'd say the ground was probably just a bit dead for him. They'd obviously watered, and we could have either done with a bit more rain or for it to really dry out. Bit sticky for him. Never really that happy through the race. But look, he bounces off some good ground, and we'll go up to Ayr and make plenty of use of him again. And hopefully a change of tactics back out in front. He's a horse that, like, people get fixed on. He made the run in the last day. Why didn't they make the running again? But some horses don't need to make the running. They just need a good, strong gallop. So if you've got a good pace to aim at with other horses doing the donkey work, why do you need to give them all a lead? Do you see what I mean? You make the running when it suits you, when no one else is going to take you on to make the running. Otherwise, you see it a lot in British racing. We go fast from the get go. But we'll make plenty of use of him up at Ayr. Let him bowl along, and if someone's going quicker, then fine. But we'll ride him on the front end, and hopefully that'll do the trick again. It was fine in the novice hurdles because no one's taking you on. You've got massive advantage, But when you're in those handicaps and you've got 5 others that want to make the running as well, you don't just have to make the running, But look, we'll go up to Ayr and pop him out the gates, and hopefully around Ayr it'll suit him and he can bounce off some good ground.
That's Paul.
Fantastic. Well, I think that'll do it, Harry. I mean, we could talk to you all that long, but we won't keep you. We won't keep you too long. Thank you for that. Obviously, good luck with the weekend and all your rides and all your horses. We hope you have a belting festival at Aintree and a good time. And hopefully, it's not been too bad for you coming on again tonight.
Yeah, no problem at all, lads. Thanks very much.
Good luck in the jockey. It's not the jockey champ. It's the.
You're having a nice bonus coming, won't you? So.
Yeah, the David Power Jockey Cup. Yeah,
that's the one. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the trainer's title maybe as well. Could be all coming your way.
Look, I'd say that if as far as the team's concerned, I think if we can get across the line in the Trainers' Championship, it'll be our greatest achievement of all.
Well, mate, we wish you all the best for that. We hope it happens. We really do. We'll be waving the Team Skelton flag. I can promise you that.
Thanks very
much. So that'll do us then tonight. Thank you everyone for watching. Cheers again, Harry, Rich, and we'll see you next time. Again, good luck, Harry, and we'll see you again. Hopefully, have you on next season.
Harry, good luck.
Thanks very much. Cheers.
Cheers, mate. Bye bye.